Hey, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. This is your girl, I Am Silent Progress, for Coriana. And so today I'll be doing a client's makeup. I'll be doing a full glam, well, a natural glam. This is going to be for her senior pictures. And so as I'm starting off by doing her eyebrows. I'm using Colourpop eyebrow pencil. I'll leave the shade down below in the description. Everything will be listed in the description. So if I miss anything in the video, just check the description out. Your girl got you. And so yes, I'm starting with her brows. I'll be doing that bottom part, outlining that first, just to create the shape of her brows, and then I'll be lightly stroking the rest of them. If you want a full eyebrow tutorial, I have one. It's a little old video, but it still shows you how to do your eyebrows, and I am gonna create a newer updated version, but hopefully by seeing this you'll get the gist of how to do your eyebrows. But right now I'm starting by concealing her eyebrows. I'm using Colourpop's Colourpop's concealer. So I mixed Colourpop concealer in Deep Golden, and I mixed Rich Tan, and I created her brow bone color. As you can see, it's a little lighter, but I wanted that highlighted brow, and I'll blend it out and it'll look like a natural brow bone color, but I wanted it like the eyebrow to pop. So as you see here, I'm bringing that concealer down and I'm blending it out with Just Up brush. I'll leave the brush name at the bottom, and I'm placing that concealer on her lids, cancel out any imperfections. I want everything to look flawless, a flawless eyeshadow base. That's what this is. It's a base, and I'm using NYX's concealer here just to create that base on her lid. Some people could use eyeshadow primer, but I choose to use concealer, and that is my base, and it just makes it flawless on the lids. So again, I'm blending everything out. You do want to take your time in blending everything out. You don't want your eyelids to crease, because that is not a good thing for putting your eyeshadows on. You want everything to look flawless. And yes, so I'll be now setting this concealer with Sacha Buttercup. This is the setting powder that I'll use for her lids, as well as later on for her under eyes. Like this is the setting powder I'll be using. And so now I'll be cleaning her eyebrow, the top of her eyebrow, with again the Colourpop shade in Rich Tan. It's the Colourpop No Filter concealer in Rich Tan, and I just do this so it can look flawless. Like some people use foundation to conceal this top brow bone color. Top brow bone. Some people use their foundation, but I choose to use a concealer just because it makes it look more neater. And this is how I conceal my brows. I'm gonna blend that out with that Just Up brush, and I'm just gonna make it look as natural as possible. And as you can see, her dad was talking to her. It's a cuter clip later on in the video, but yeah, her dad was talking to her before he left, so that was cute, a cute moment that I captured. So here I'll be starting off with the eyeshadow. I'll be using the eyeshadow with the X on it. It is from the Dare to Create Morphe palette. It's a Morphe palette, and it's Dare to Create 39A, and you can get this from Ulta, you can get this from Morphe.com, but this is a good beginner friendly palette because it has all your browns, it has a little shimmer shades, but it has a lot of natural colors, and it's very pigmented, and it shows up on all women of color. I love to use this palette on my clients, so get this palette. I'm not on their PR or anything. I'm just telling you to get this palette because it's awesome. And so here I'm using this fluffy Wet n Wild brush. It's a fluffy brush. You can use any fluffy brush, and I believe I got this brush from the dollar store. Super cheap. Probably was $1. It was $1 from Dollar.
Yeah.
My dad.
Too cute. So I switched my brush, and I'm using a Morphe blending brush, and I'm just blending out the edges. You can use any blending fluffy brush. If you have another Wet n Wild brush, you can use that just to blend out the edges. And so here I'm cutting the crease with Deep Golden by Colourpop. I'm cutting the crease, but I don't want it to be like perfect. I'm not trying to make it like a cut crease, a bomb cut crease. That's not what this eyeshadow look I was going for. I was going for just another base from my eyeshadow lid color, which is going to be a shimmer shade. I was just trying to create a base. So when you see concealers on the lids, that's for your base. That's to make the shadow colors pop a little more. So again, I'm going to be doing that just so I can pop on this shimmer shade here, which is from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. And again, this is a great palette for beginners because it has your shimmer shades and it has some natural neutral colors, your browns and oranges. So yes, I'm taking a fluffy brush and I'm blending out this shimmer shade. It just makes it like an effortless shimmer shade, not defined where it's like I'm packing on the color. It's just like me just gliding on. It just makes it kind of like a sheeny lid color, kind of like wet looking, a little bit wet, but it's more just so it can look effortless. And so again, I'm using this second shade, shimmer shade here, and I am putting on the outside just so it can give some definition, some dimension to her eye. Now I'm going back in with that Wet n Wild fluffy brush, and I'm just blending out the edges. I just want it to all look cohesive. I don't want it to be all just, I want it to blend out perfectly. I want it all to blend out perfectly and look cohesive. So yes, I'm blending out the edges, and I'm actually popping on this brow color with that same fluffy brush. I'm popping on that brown color there. And now I'll be taking a Wet n Wild eyeliner. So this is Wet n Wild Mega Liner in black. And I'm just going to create a small baby wing. Nothing too dramatic because again, I'm going for a soft glam. You don't want it to look like a smoky nighttime event looking eye. You want it to look soft and daytime friendly. So my line is a little crooked, and it's okay if you mess up a little bit. You can go back in and, you know, make it a little more straighter. But yes, here I'm doing the other side, and now I'm putting on mascara. You can use any mascara. You just want to do mascara before you put on your lashes. It just makes everything blend in. She has long curly lashes, so yes. So I'm just popping on some lashes. I'll leave the name at the bottom. And the lash glue that I use is Duo Lash Glue. It's in clear. It has like an iridescent green color. So that's the lash glue that I use. And yes, I'm almost done with her lashes. It just gives you more fuller look. Here I'm just blending in her lashes with the falsies. And so you want to use a tweezer to do so. And also with putting on lashes, you often find the lashes to stick to the bottom part of your eye. So, you know, just make sure you remove the excess glue. And yes, I'm going to get into face priming, making her base flawless. Priming your skin and hydrating it before you put on your makeup. Just make sure foundation looks flawless, your application looks flawless. So here I'll be using 2 face primers are, one is a moisturizer and the other one's a primer. So first I'll be starting with Embryolisse moisture cream. I'll list that name at the bottom, and then I'll be going in with I didn't show it here, but I'll be going in with Fenty soft matte primer. As you can see, this Embryolisse, the first moisturizing cream, leaves her skin looking very hydrated. That's what that skin looks. That's what the hydration is from the Embryolisse. And then here, again, I use the primer, Fenty soft matte primer afterwards. But here I'm putting a color corrector, which is from LA Girl. It's in color orange, and I'm putting a little bit. I put some on my hand, on my palm, and then I placed it with a flat brush, just to cancel out the darkness. It's from a lack of sleep or just hyperpigmentation from women of color, like I have some too. Dark under eye circles. She doesn't really have bags, but it's just a dark under eye a little bit, and so color correcting will take that away. And so here is her foundation that I mixed. So I mixed 450 in Fenty soft matte, and then I mixed 440 in Fenty soft matte as well. So that's gonna give me her that is gonna give me her face foundation color. Sorry, that is gonna give me her foundation color. So again, I mixed 450 and 440 from Fenty. And this is the original foundation color. The original foundation. And I'll have a video of me actually reviewing this foundation years back when it first launched. So if you want to check that out, you can. But as you can see, this foundation was perfect for her skin tone. It actually blended in flawlessly. I did go back and mix some of that 440, see the lighter shade, just so it can not be so dark, because that 450 was a little dark, but then 440 would be too light on her. As you can see, it's a lighter shade, but this just gave me a perfect foundation color. It looks like her skin. So it looked hydrated and whatnot, and she had a mark on her cheek by her mouth, and the foundation, just by placing it there directly on the spot, it canceled out. So you don't have to use a color corrector or any concealer just to cancel that out. If you just place it directly on the skin, on the area, and leave it there, it should like be buildable to cover up. And I'm just placing it on her nose and all around her face. I forgot to add, I'm using a stippling brush. This is a Coastal Scents brush, but I believe e.l.f. has one. If you go to Target, e.l.f. has a stippling brush. This just allows you, this brush allows you not to use a lot of foundation product, so it just blends the product out evenly and makes it kind of look airbrush kind of. But I like using the stippling brush for foundations, so especially on my clients. So yeah. So now I'll be doing under eye concealing, and as you notice, I'm not placing it underneath the eye because it'll eliminate creasing, but I wanted to place it right there because I left it there for a while just so it could build up its own coverage. And again, I am using Rich Tan by Colourpop. This is close to her skin tone, but it just gives a natural under eye highlighting because it is photo. Like, I wanted to make the foundation and the highlighting photo ready. I didn't want something too dramatic and too much of highlighting that it will give any flashback or just look too much on her photos. This is a senior graduation photos, so you don't need a full beat down. You just need something that's just gonna give you a little pop and look flawless, and that's what this concealer did. And again, this is Colourpop's Rich Tan, and it's perfect for women of color like my client here. It looked great on her skin. I got some on her eyelashes, but I was wiping it away. It's okay when you're doing makeup. You don't have to be perfect. It's art. and whatnot, but you do have to take your time and match yourself, because you don't want, especially with like for graduation photos or any professional photos, you don't want it to be too much under the eye. Like, you want it to look like natural, like your skin tone. And here, sorry I'm talking a lot, but here I'm taking a blending brush. It is damp, not a blending brush, a beauty sponge, and it's damp, and I'm just placing it where I place the concealer, just to blend out that concealer. And just using the leftover concealer here. And here I'm taking LA Girl's Fawn, and just to give a little brightness under the eye, nothing too dramatic. I just used a little bit. And it's just to brighten the under eye a little bit, because the first shade, which was Rich Tan from Colourpop, was like her skin tone, but that Fawn by LA Girl just is like a brightener, but it's too much just to use under the eye on its own, that LA Girl. So here I'm just blending everything out before I put the setting powder. And again, I'll be using that same setting powder I used to do on her lids. The setting powder I use for her lids, it's the same thing that I'm using for her under eye, which is Sacha Buttercup, and it's perfect for women of color because it's a little orange, but it does create its own like highlight. But as you can see, I did place some on my hand and then blended it out. I didn't let it sit too long, because again, this is for photos. You don't need that popping, banging under eye. You just want something natural. So I'm blending it out. I will set it around her nose, just so that can give a little highlight, and so it won't look so flat. Like, it'll look like it's lifted, her under eye is lifted a little bit. But again, you don't need too much setting powder. This is for professional photos. You don't need too much setting powder. That's all I can say, because I know if you watch these YouTube videos and these Instagram girls and all this, they use a lot of setting powders just so they can give that brightness of the under eye, and so it can last all day. But this is not an Instagram photo. This is not for Instagram photos. This is for professional photos. This is her graduation pictures, so you want everything to look photo ready. And so, yeah, she looks good. Her skin looks good. And here I'm just placing a little concealer, just so it can add some dimension, so her forehead can pop, so it can look good on photos. You don't want everything to look flat. This part is actually optional. You don't need it, but as a makeup artist, I saw that it'll just add another dimension on her skin. So yes, you want to bring everything forward. You want everything to look centered. And so here I'm just contouring her nose a little bit. I'm cutting her cheeks so it can look, chiseled out and whatnot. But this part is optional as well. But I thought it would be a great touch, just because I'm going to be doing reverse contouring, which is adding some more dimension to her face, so she won't look flat. And this part is optional, but I just felt like it was needed on this soft glam look, because I was going for a soft glam look. And so here I'm dusting off this setting powder with MAC's powder in Studio Fix. It's in NW45. So I'm just dusting that off and actually placing some powder on her face. And I'm using an angled brush. I believe it's from Coastal Scents, but you can use any angled brush. I believe e.l.f. has one as well. And I'm just dusting off that setting powder, because as you notice, it does leave a color, and so you need to dust it off. And so here I'm using Fenty Beauty's Mocha Mommy. It's a contour shade, and I'm just contouring her cheeks, her jawline, contouring that just to add some more dimension to her skin and to her face. This bronzer is a bronzer, so this bronzer color is awesome for women of color. It could act as a blush, but it's a bronzer. Honestly, it's a bronzer. You don't want to put too much, but yeah, I was telling her she looks like a Barbie doll because she did. Her skin, her application was flawless to me. So now I'm contouring her nose with that same bronzer shade in Mocha Mommy, and I'm bringing it to her brow bone. And I just wanted everything to look like seamlessly, like make it look natural. I usually use contour sticks and contour creams, but for here I just use powders because I realized I was doing it for photos. You don't need a contoured skin. You just need it to look soft. And so I was dusting off the extra powder that was underneath her eyes. And here I'm spraying her face because I'm almost done. You want to make everything melted into your skin by using a skin. Oh, you want to use a setting spray. Sorry, you want to use a setting spray. So I use Morphe's setting mist. It's in a black bottle. It's called Morphe Conceal Setting Spray. And here I'm going to be doing her highlight, which I'll be using Anastasia Glow Kit. And I'll be using that Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighting brush. I'll leave the name at the bottom as well. But I'm using Bronze by Anastasia Glow Kit, and it just gives her a nice highlighted cheek. This is perfect for women of color. This bronzer color, or this highlighting shade that I chose. And as you can see, I'm placing a little bit on her nose, and a little bit on her cupid's bow. This part is optional, but I just like that extra glow, so I choose to use highlighters. But you know, I don't think they're gonna be taking angles of your highlight when you're doing your senior pictures. But I chose to put some there, and I use that same shade, same bronze shade, and I use that in the inner corner of her eyes just to make her eyeshadow pop a little more. And so now I'll be getting into her lips, which I'll be using Pitch by Colourpop. It's a brown color. It's perfect for women of color. A beautiful lip pencil color. And so, yes, I'm using this color to give you this lippy. And so here I'll be using Stilo by Colourpop. It's like a pink mauve lip color. It's a gloss, but it has a tint of color, so it's not like clear gloss. It has a tint of color, a tint of pink mauve, and it's perfect for like a nude. So this is what I was going for, like a pinky mauve nude. So yes, she was feeling herself. No, but I told her she looks pretty. I was just like, oh my god, you look so pretty. Okay, open. Can you close? Open. Smile. Turn to the right.